On the one hand, the external environment's noise and disorder can penetrate through the senses into the mind, disrupting its tranquility and inducing a state of mental turbulence. This phenomenon aligns with the idea that the mind is not an isolated entity, but is deeply connected to and affected by its surroundings. For example, a chaotic living space or dysfunction in the family or a noisy city can make it challenging to find inner peace. We could go so far as to say the mind is even socially constructed by culture, norms, rules, morality, ethics, religion, politics, relationships. Whereas animals probably don't have this type of mental experience or mind, yet they do possess a brain. The candle flame, which is very vulnerable even uh, to a little bit of wind. A flame burns brightly, consuming fuel to give light, much like the mind consumes information to generate thoughts and ideas. You can't quite see that with the flame. It just looks like it's supporting itself, just like a mind seems to be perhaps totally independent. The space around the flame, though invisible and formless, allows the flame to exist in the first place and be perceived. Conversely, internal mental and emotional turmoil can manifest outwardly, influencing one's environment. A restless mind can lead to discordant actions or strained relationships and the manifestation of a turbulent environment around oneself. This reflects the notion that the external world can be a projection of the internal landscape. Imagine an individual mind as a lantern casting light in the darkness. The purity and steadiness of the light depend on the lantern's inner flame. If that flame flickers wildly, it casts distorted shadows, creating a semblance of chaos in the surrounding darkness. Similarly, an unsettled mind projects its turmoil outward. This shapes the reality it perceives. In resolving this paradox, different groups often emphasize the primacy of one over the other. Some corporatists and conservative foundations fund research into mindfulness, but to bolster the view that even if work is stressful and taxing, mindfulness proves that you are in control of your mental health and happiness because of the results we can get with mindfulness-based stress reduction. Alternatively, progressive thinkers might dismiss the innate capacity for resilience and inner calm despite outer circumstances. While the important point can be made, as was eloquently stated by my social work practice professor, Maria Del Mar Farina, that teaching someone how to successfully cope does not mean that we successfully address the human suffering. Achieving stillness then becomes a holistic endeavor where everyone has a part to play and a responsibility to each other and to the whole symphony, and harmonizing these inner and outer environments. Again, this principle of correspondence continues to fascinate in different fields of study. I've talked before about the wave particle duality in quantum physics, and it challenges our classical intuitions about the distinct nature of objects. Photons of light may behave as formless waves or localized particles, according to wave particle duality, depending on how they are observed and measured. Another hypothesis extends this duality to matter and to its constituent entities like electrons, which may also exhibit both wave-like and particle-like behaviors under certain conditions. But is there any macro implication or metaphysical comparison? The other day, I happened to glance towards the sun and realized that if I look at the sun, it appears as an object or sphere in the sky. But if I don't look at it, the sunlight is everywhere, having no apparent locality. So maybe in a spiritual sense, we also erroneously locate and define individuals with our mind and confine their existence to that. And we might even do this to deny all that they are out of fear or attachment. And sometimes when a person is no longer physically present, they have died, there's an expansion of love or connection in all ways. This might just be about emotion, but we also might be way off on our ideas about consciousness and where it is.